Howdy, I'm B. Let me welcome you to the Beer Snobs Radio Show. We're a bunch of friends who are not experts, but we know we like in beer. Our definition of a beer snob is someone who just won't drink craft beer. So sit back and listen to us blind review beers on the Beer Snobs Radio Show.
Calling all beer snobs. How you guys doing tonight? I am B, and to my left is...
Hey guys, it's Brian with Beer Quest.
And across the table is...
Daemon.
Okay. And you gotta remind you guys, first and foremost, our beer of the month. What's our beer of the month, guys?
Negro Modelo.
The good stuff.
The real good stuff.
Black lager, black lager from Mexico.
Mexico. It's good stuff.
Yes.
We recommend you that highly. Just to let you guys, give you guys an update on what this is when we do a beer of the month, it's a beer that we just think that you should try. That's it. And out of all the beers we drink in the month, we think this is the one you should go out there and buy.
Highest recommended.
As much as possible. But we got to go to our segment, the news with Daemon. Daemon, what do you got for us
I
today?
got some beer news for you. Well, let's see. Basically, not a lot of funny this week. I decided to go with 3 stories that kind of show that certain large beer companies are assholes.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Yes, let's start out from the Journal Sentinel from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This by Bruce Vielmetti. Miller Coors accuses former executives of embezzlement.
Oh, I heard about that.
What they do is take the recipe.
Miller Coors has sued 2 former marketing executives and several other people.
It was like 10 million?
Accusing them of embezzling more than $10 million from the brewing company through phony invoices for undelivered services over the last 13 years.
Wow.
The lawsuit filed last week in Milwaukee County Circuit Court names as defendants former executives David Coletti and Paul Edwards, assholes, a dozen other people, and 15 companies in several other states. It claims Coletti of, this is a horrible name for a city, Akanamawak,
Just as bad as Cucamonga?
almost as bad, conspired with the others to build Miller Brewing and Miller Coors for a variety of fraudulently claimed goods and services and shared the payouts. The scheme avoided detection until 2013 because Coletti directed the payments from an internal budget he controlled, according to the suit. And the Journal Sentinel first reported on the investigation and suspected fraud in April. Miller Coors indicated that it was cooperating with federal authorities, and as of sometime before the 3rd of this month, let's see, no criminal charges have been filed in Wisconsin, although things may have changed since. And their side is saying, we don't comment on the specifics of active litigation, but we were compelled to file the suit in order to protect our interest by attempting to recover the money. Company spokesman Jonathan Stern said, the suit indicates none of the defendants has cooperated with the company's investigation. 40-page lawsuit claims that these guys created a shell company to accept the embezzled funds and then created other front companies for the sole purpose of submitting faked bills to Miller Coors.
Wow.
20 million. This is like organized crime, close to organized crime. And it's just like a couple people.
What a flawless system. I mean, they put these guys in charge of key accounts.
Yeah.
And they didn't think anything bad was going to happen.
It's incredible. This guy Coletti administered a multi-million-dollar budget and supervised dozens of employees tasked with advertising, promoting, and sponsoring events to increase sales. And when Miller Brewing became part of Miller Coors, Coletti's office moved from Milwaukee to Chicago in 2009. And he's been a huge part of the company ever since. But then until I guess this stuff, Coletti 55 was an investor in downtown Washika's Clark Hotel, which ran into financial trouble and last year landed in foreclosure.
So you're saying that there's a trend?
Yeah, there's a trend. An associate at that venture and the Milwaukee Iron, a former arena football team, Andrew Velazzi III, is named as a defendant in the lawsuit. He contends that he and Coletti caused 3 Waukesha companies to fraudulently bill Miller Coors about $2 million from 2005 to 2010. This guy's a scumball, and he was in charge of making sure that you bought Miller.
Wow. I mean, if you're that naive, you kind of deserve this guy in your company.
Yeah. So basically already a bunch of crooked assholes. So then we move to our next story. We're just hopping right along from a newswire straight to Beer Pulse. Heineken says SAB Miller attempted to acquire the company, but they intend to stay independent. So
Good for them,
Heineken
even though
said
it's
no.
shit beer, both of them.
Yeah, I know, fuck them. But they're like, no, we're going to keep our shitty beer independent.
Wait, no. How does that work? Because Heineken is like an own
Dutch, right?
international. I mean,
They're Netherlands.
but they're one of the biggest holding companies for beer brands in the world. So
Yeah, no. What was it?
are they talking distribution?
No, they're talking straight up ownership.
Yeah, right. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, in response to recent press speculation, Heineken NV, or Heineken or the company, announced today that it has been approached by SAB Miller PLC regarding a potential acquisition of Heineken. Heineken has consulted with majority shareholders, included that SAB Miller's proposal is non-actionable. The Heineken family has informed SAB Miller, Heineken and Heineken Holding of its intention to preserve the heritage and identity of Heineken as an independent company. The Heineken family and Heineken NV management are confident that the company will continue to deliver growth and shareholder value. So basically, like, no, fuck you. We're not letting you buy us. The shareholders said, yeah, sell to Miller.
So this was an
No.
unsolicited offer.
No, this was, they're trying to expand. They're trying to grow.
They're trying to become a big one and a big two.
Yeah, because they're looking against all these other companies that are, because they're number 3, right?
No, they're number 2.
They are number 2 now.
No, they're the big one and a big two. So we got a couple other companies beneath them, but they're just trying to get on the level of Anheuser InBev.
Yeah. AB InBev.
Which brings us to our third story. This one is originally from Wall Street Journal, but fuck them. We're doing a shadowed story from the NACD, the National Association of Corporate Directors. Beer giant AB InBev explores financing to buy rival SAB Miller.
They can do it all they want, but it ain't gonna happen.
No, they won't get regulatory approval.
No way. That would be way too much beer controlled by a way bigger company.
You forget
volume.
You forget that only counts when it comes to companies that are in America. To two companies that are national in America that choose to be a collective business in America will not get approval in America, but it doesn't make any difference when you go overseas.
Yeah, because InBev is now Brazil.
Yeah, InBev is Brazilian, and with holdings in Europe, they do not answer to American laws when it comes to monopolies. So it's possible if they sell to them, it doesn't need approval from the the SEC.
Hey, just drinking responsibly.
Yeah. Anheuser InBev NV is talking to banks about financing a potential mega deal, confirms the Wall Street Journal, perhaps reaching 75 billion pounds. That's I guess it's $122 billion US to buy global beer rival SAB Miller PLC. Such a tie between the world's two biggest brewing companies has been rumored for years. However, a revival in global merger activity since the first of this year has sparked renewal speculation. Yeah, that's.
I think that's the worst possible thing that could happen to big beer.
No, I think it's kind of the whole point is that they've all been selling less. This is something I saw coming. They've all been selling less. Craft beer has been growing, and as we discussed before, the thing with craft beer is not about volume. It's not about chugging 10 beers. It's about getting like a 6-pack and enjoying a couple because of the flavor. So as craft beer grows, it's not an equal volume to what people bought from the big companies. But so the big companies are taking a huge hit. Like you look at the growth of craft, and you multiply that by 5 or 6, and that's what the big companies are losing.
Yeah.
So they're all getting desperate. So they're eventually just going to consolidate into one big ugly company who's suffering and dying alone as craft beer continues to grow.
I understand that, but again, I read an article that made me sympathetic for Budweiser about how InBev is now doing such how can I put it, cost-cutting measures against their beer and making a cheaper beer instead of using barley. They're using corn. And they're doing things that are just ridiculous. And I think to myself,
corners.
even though they cut in corners and they get both companies to cut corners, people can't deny that you did like Blue Moon. Blue Moon was a SAB Miller.
It's true.
And you do like some of the other stuff out there. I mean, I'm not going to be a fan of the Bud Light margarita shit, but but the idea that if a bigger company gets a hold of this and then they start having the purchasing power to ruin other beers by buying out a lot of stuff.
It's not what's going to happen. What will happen will be they'll consolidate their holdings, and it'll just be one company, and then it's the problem is when music went downhill because of MP3s and file sharing, the music companies almost died until they decided we have to change the way we do business. We will get into streaming, we'll get into licensing, we'll put more money into live shows and performance. And you change, the game changes, you change with the game. That's how you got to do it. Now, it's happening with movies, and people are adjusting, they're changing the way they do things. The big companies don't want to change. They've been doing this for so long. They don't want to change the way that they do it. Yeah. So the thing is, they're going to slowly die, and they're going to shrink, and they're going to consolidate because they can, and they're going to lose. They're going to lose because they're not going to change their game. They're just thinking, well, we'll just pull our resources. No. I mean, when you think about this, 122 billion is what they're offering for SAB Miller. That is more than twice the amount that InBev paid for Anheuser-Busch. They paid 52 billion just 6 years ago.
Wow.
And they're more than double, $122 million. It's an act of desperation because they suck, and they know they suck. It's sad. It's sad. Let's see what else here. London The Express adds that SAB Miller, which makes such popular brands as Peroni and Pilsner Urquell, is thought to have wanted Heineken. Yeah, they're talking about that to boost their presence in Asia Pacific region, Africa, and Latin America. That's why they were trying to buy it, but they opted to preserve their heritage and independence. And then right here, the Business Week said SAB Miller PLC wants to avoid getting bought. Its best bet is to make. Oh yeah, they're saying if they could have maybe pulled it together with Heineken, they might have a chance. But no.
No, that's not going to happen.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, yeah, so basically you're looking at the downfall of one of the biggest
That's big beer.
You're looking at the downfall of Big Beer. These three stories you tie them together, you see desperation in the eyes of Big Beer, and that's great. That's great for craft because even though craft beer isn't like huge at making a lot of money, it's doing technically more successful. It's growing where Big Beer is falling.
Yeah, this is definitely a trend. It's been going on for years.
Yeah.
So,
but that's it. That's our tale of woe. poor multi-billion-dollar SAB Miller.
yeah, they just need more money, more margins.
Poor Miller Coors. Aw. And that is it for beer news.
So we have our beer of the show.
This is a little honey-colored.
Yeah, kind of a light brown, clear, perfectly clear.
Not really stirring up much of a head.
It doesn't have that good of a smell. I'm not smelling awesome. I'm just smelling this beer.
This kind of reminds me of the smell reminds me of an attempt at a Belgian, maybe.
You know what this reminds me of? A cheap beer.
Yeah, you think so?
I think it reminds me of just somebody that just threw out something like one of the big beer companies trying to make a nice amber, and they just, like I said, cut corners earlier.
No, this tastes like
amber.
This tastes like, to me, this doesn't taste like that. This tastes like an attempt, like somebody did an attempt at a Belgian, but it tastes flat. That's the problem. It tastes flat.
I don't really get the
I don't
Belgian.
get the Belgian part.
No, I get a lot of the caramel, a lot of the amber characteristic.
That may be more of a, if not a Belgian, then maybe closer to like a sad black lager. There is flavor in there, and the caramel, the caramel is really distinct. I get the sense that they're trying, but they just didn't try hard enough.
I think this was just a half-ass attempt at a beer.
Yeah, I mean the caramel is really the only thing it has going for it.
Well, then let's just get to it. Then let's get to the reveal.
Wow, that was the quickest review we had in years.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Yeah, it's a meh.
This
beer.
inspires like no thought at all.
Heineken, Neerland. Oh, that's a brewing company, but it's Murphy's Irish Red.
Oh,
okay, red. That was the style. I couldn't think of the style.
Dude, I did not pick up Irish Red at all.
No,
this does kind of remind me of a few reds I've had. This reminds me almost of the Newcastle Red.
Here it is,
the Werewolf.
Irish Red Ale, 5%, $1.49 a 12-ounce bottle.
Not bad.
First brewed in Ladies Well Brewery, Cork, 1856. Heineken purchased the brewery in 1983. Beer now produced in Heineken, Neerland, also known for Irish Amber and Draft Irish Ale. Pasteurized, available in nitro keg and can versions. And it says the ingredients are barley, chocolate malt, water, hops, and yeast. I just think this is Like Like if I'm going to have a red, this sure as hell ain't the red I'm going to tell somebody to buy. This is
What do you think of the bottle?
ridiculous.
It does look kind of funny. I mean,
It's all slanted to the left.
Yeah, it's all orange, white, and is that orange or is that red?
I think
red.
that's supposed to be red, but it looks kind of faded almost.
Yeah, it's like a retro orange.
This was not impressive. This was very boring. This was very. I can't do an epic rant like Daemon, but I can tell you this: I'm not recommending this.
No.
This was very, very subpar for
It's
beer.
brewed under the supervision of Murphy Brewery from Cork Island by Heineken in the Netherlands.
They supervise it by Skype, so no, I don't trust it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this is, you know what this reminds me of? This is like when what was it? When they tried making when Molson, before they were Molson Coors, when they were like getting licensing and they were brewing beers up in Canada, they're brewing their own Canadian versions of beers. Like they were, for a while, they were brewing a regular no, what the hell was it? They were brewing Guinness. It tasted like shit. And then they were brewing Foster's, and somehow they made Foster's worse. Like it was weird the way they were doing it. And like right now, like they actually ended up Guinness licensed to Extra Stout.
That's a weird bottle.
To Molson. And the thing is, Extra Stout
That is
now,
a nutty bottle.
not only is Extra Stout actually more palatable, their version of Extra Stout actually tastes like the old classic Guinness. Even though it's supposed to be extra, it just tastes like regular classic Guinness, and it's now vegan because they don't use the fish guts in the process because they're Canadian.
Oh. Usually that's only used for clarity.
But that's the thing is, like, you know what? A good Irish red should be made by Irish people. Not by people in the Netherlands. I mean, no offense to the people there, but you guys make Heineken. I mean, this is the company that makes Heineken. Don't make a red. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, son. Irish red in Netherlands.
I just think this was such an off beer and such an off flavor, and everything about this doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what? We wouldn't get a bunch of blonde-haired kids from Germany and try to call them ABBA. So how about we don't take an Irish red brewed in the Netherlands and call it or take a red brewed in the Netherlands and call it Irish. How about that?
Okay, I'm lost, but fuck it. What do you think about this beer?
Yeah, I definitely could not recommend trying this. I mean, it's okay. You know what? It tastes cheap.
It tastes cheap.
It actually tastes cheap.
So no from you.
No.
B?
Hell no. I can't see myself. I can't find any justification of spending money on this.
Yeah, okay. I'll just say Murphy's Red should have stayed in Ireland. Don't you brew that shit in the Netherlands, it's gonna taste like a beer brewed in the Netherlands.
You can't dye yourself a ginger.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Dude, no, that's a funky bottle.
Yeah.
Like, look at that neck.
Stupid looking bottle.
That's just
Supervised
weird.
by people in Cork. That's just funny. Supervised.
Okay,
sure.
so we had a really bad beer. Let me tell you about a really good beer.
Yeah, wait. And just because I don't need to say it, but I'll say it anyway. No, I don't recommend this. So that's 0-3. Go ahead.
So a really good beer is the beer of the month, which was Negro Modelo,
Awesome.
and you need to go try that.
Definitely.
Way over this. We normally say even when we don't like it, you should try it. Yeah, you should try this and find out what a shit beer tastes like. Straight
Yeah,
up.
this supposed Irish. Could you even call it Irish? Murphy's Irish soap. How about that? It probably tastes better.
Murphy's Law is somewhere in here.
Yeah, Murphy's Law.
It went wrong all through the process.
Yes.
But
That's
yeah,
it.
go try Negro Modelo. It was way better than this stuff. And I'm just gonna say I'm beefing the beer snobs, and I'll see you at the bar.
Hey guys, this is Brian from Beer Quest, and the quest's only half the fun.
This is Daemon Beer Snobs. Auf Wiedersehen.
Calling all beer snobs, I am B, and you just heard one of our shows. Guess what else you can do? You can find us on the interwebs at Twitter, Facebook, G+, and we're on the Stitcher Radio Network. Be our friend on our social networks to find out what we're up to and find interesting beer articles we're releasing. If you want to advertise with the Beer Snobs, you can contact us at marketing@thebeersnobs.com. If you want to give us beer suggestions, you can find us at info@thebeersnobs.com or any of the social networks you can reach us. And as always, I'll see you at the bar.